What a year it's been. Who would have believed the changes in the last year? They say a week is a long time in politics, but this year feels as if it's been packed with such weeks. It's been very difficult for people of all ages. People have lost loved ones, people have been very ill, some people are still suffering from long COVID. It's been incredibly difficult for school children whose schooling has been interrupted and who've had to work from home. But there is good that's come out of all this. We have had an immense number of volunteers in Rutland. It's been quite extraordinary, the country kindness that has been shown right across Rutland in every parish and every town. The High Sheriff and I wrote to every parish clerk and town clerk and asked for recommendations of people who'd helped. We sent out over 300 certificates, but we could have sent many more. We're sure that we have only just scratched the surface. It's amazing what people have done. And that sense of community spirit and the unity in adversity is something that is really good. And that, I hope, we will carry forwards with us as we move out of the pandemic. The Rutland Food Bank has been an extraordinary example of just how well Rutland has worked. There was real need for a food bank in Rutland. There is poverty in Rutland. But with the advent of the pandemic, suddenly many people lost their jobs or were on furlough or weren't able to earn. And so then the need increased by 21%. At the same time, the volunteers who usually supported the food bank, who were over 70, had to isolate. So suddenly they had to find all sorts of younger people to volunteer, but they did. And they changed their practices so that they could deliver to people's doors instead of having people turning up to collect, because obviously that was not COVID compliant and was dangerous. And there have been so many on the front line doing things. The police, the fire and the ambulance services have kept going valiantly all the way through and have done so often without adequate protection, certainly at the beginning. The NHS has just been amazing, and we all know how grateful we are to the NHS, and that will be something that I hope we keep appreciating what they do and how lucky we are to have such an effective health service. It's not just the frontline services, though. There are many other people. We've had delivery drivers, we've had people working at supermarkets, we've had all sorts of people keeping going in a quiet way just to make sure that we actually get through this pandemic and that everyone is looked after. And as Lord Lieutenant, I am so proud of all that's gone on in Rutland. I think it's a wonderful county, not just because it's beautiful, but because the people in it care for each other, and there is such a strong sense of community spirit. Whilst the pandemic has brought many negatives and great suffering, there are also some real positives that have come out of it. I mentioned community spirit. That has been amazing, and I hope we don't lose that. I hope that many people of different ages who have volunteered during the pandemic continue to do so. But it's not just that. We've learnt that we can work from home. That's brilliant. It gives us so much more time for family life and for other things, for hobbies, for our own lives. So that, I hope, will remain with us, and we can actually enjoy things like the outdoors, which of course we also have learnt to appreciate much more. And I'm pleased that people now are walking every day because it's healthy, but I hope they continue to do that as we move out of this pandemic year. I think it's shifted our perception of what is important in life. We've learnt to value our relationships. We've learnt that we're part of nature and that we have to value and look after the environment, because actually we're part of that, and it's a part of looking after ourselves. So we need to keep that shift in values that's come about through the pandemic as we move forwards into the future.